Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video. Today we have a mock draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. This team's in a very weird spot in the first 5 rounds, and that is to pick at number 94, 62, 30, and 10, which is all within the first 3 rounds, I think. So, not a whole lot, actually. But they do have picks towards the top of the board, and an interesting spot where things should kind of even out at 62. This is a team with not a whole lot of needs, a Super Bowl ready roster. Just, sign back a few people. You can always look towards the future, which is a good thing to do at this point. And when you would pick at 10, there is no denying you can get a quality player. Let's go ahead and start this. Anthony Richardson is the number 1 overall pick. Bryce Young, Tyree Wilson, Devin Witherspoon, Jalen Carter, Will Anderson falls to 6, Peter Skoronski, Christian Gonzalez, and Lucas Van Ness off the board, leaving us with a weird board. Obviously, Paris Johnson can be well in play here. Porter, well in play. Murphy, I can see that. Nolan, absolutely. Jackson Smith and Jigba, sure. Bijan's even a possibility here at 10. Ideally, CJ Stroud isn't here, so maybe that opened up another spot for someone else, like maybe Van Ness or Gonzalez at this spot. But unfortunately, we are dealt with the cards. I'm not going to finish that phrase because I'm too idiotic to remember how it actually goes. And right here, I think I'm just going to take the true tackle in Paris Johnson for a couple of reasons, actually. Paris Johnson can play guard. So if they do find themselves kind of kicking themselves for an injury or being undersuited with Cam Jurgens isn't as great as he thought, whatever, because you lost Samalo and whatnot. Lane Johnson's only going to last so long. Jason Kelsey's not there forever. That might be your eventual Kelsey replacement in Cam Jurgens, but Paris Johnson could just bolster another edge while playing in guard until he can step out to be a true tackle while learning from the best offensive line in football. I think that ceiling fits the team the best other than Bijan, but at 10, I just don't think it'd happen. Smith and Jigba would be, that would make the best receiving core in football, along with the best offensive line with one of the best quarterbacks that just got paid. If you are able to get a quality running back at 30 or 62, that also bolsters that backfield as well. So Joey Porter Jr., they are weak in the cornerback room, considering the age and injury risk. If you lose one of your boundary corners, you don't have much behind them other than Avonte Maddox to play the nickel. And at the spot, Joey Porter Jr. wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but that's another pick at 30. I think that can be done. Is a guy like maybe Cam Smith, whatever, maybe we trade down, something along those lines. So at the spot, I've convinced myself to go Paris Johnson, despite you guys probably not liking that pick as Eagles fans. I think that is a very unpopular pick. But I'm going to do it anyways. I don't think that I would do it in a full mock draft, but just if we're fully focused on the Eagles and our sole focus is to attack for the future, and if that's the game plan you come in with, and you come away with a guy like Paris, is a very good start to a future. And then at this spot, this is a definite trade down spot with just how many people are here. Mozzie Smith at this spot is interesting. I would consider Cam Smith before Emmanuel Forbes and Ringo. Will McDonald's a good player, but I don't know if they want a guy like that. I saw a lot of Hassan Reddick comparisons with him and Nolan Smith. On the edge, nobody else really stands out to me. At wide receiver, you don't want to take Hyatt. Running back, Jameer's at the spot. I've done that before in a mock draft. I just can't think of... obviously quarterback's still on the board, so if did Houston pick... It's like, bro, what's wrong? I can't do... Oh, because I only own this team. I have to go all the way back. Okay, so they did get Bryce Young. I was going to say, if the Texans didn't get the quarterback, well, now would be the time. I don't know, man. This is tough. So, actually, the Colts didn't get a quarterback. If they don't trade for Lamar Jackson, they could be on the move up here for a quarterback. We'll try to move down 5 spots for a 4th-round pick. So now we have a 4th right here. Will McDonald, they didn't even move up to get Will Levis. So it's just how broken this mock draft sim is that Will Levis goes to the Chiefs. Will McDonald, Will Levis, Mozzie Smith, Cam Smith, and Emmanuel Forbes. So really lowered our board at corner these last 2 picks to really screw us over. Brian Branch is really good. Oh, shoot. We actually could go Brian Branch. He should not fall as far. That's for damn sure. John Muir's still in play for me. I think Keeley's pretty much out of the question right now. Because you got Reed Blankenship playing over top. I'm not sure if that's like the best thing ever. You could still keep him in at like 33% of the time or so. I'm going to go Brian Branch here at 35. I think you come away very happy with that. Other players I would happily enjoy here. You lost TJ Edwards this offseason, so Drew Sanders, one I'm looking at right now, just doesn't seem to be moving at all. Hendon Hooker off the board, Trenton Simpson, Foskey, Jahmyr Gibbs finally off the board, Cody Mock, Tipman, Laporta, Phillips, Turner, Downs, Keanu Benton. Drew Sanders finally goes a few pick before us, which is unfortunate. Zach Charbonnet being here as a pure runner would be really fun. I think we can get that a little bit later. I like these next two options a lot better than Zach Charbonnet, and that is Thule and Derek Hall. So Thule, I don't know if it's Thule or Thule, but I'm going to call him Thule Tuipulotu. I like the player. I love the player. And to go to the this would be a dream fit. Give me Thule Tuipulotu here for the Eagles, a player I really enjoy. Whippler, Pickens, Darius Rush up to 67. We're seeing him go. Who the hell was that guy? Price out of Purdue? Are you kidding? Who is that? Right here. Price, are you serious? Tyler Steen goes off the board. Tank Dell, Evans, Hodges Tomlinson, Voorhees, Charbonnet, McKee, Derek Hall finally off the board. Blake Freeland, the biggest tackle I've ever seen, listed at like 6'8" something, dude. That guy's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you can't ignore Dan Henley at all. Dude, Diane Henley being here. And Zach Harrison, though. I'm in love with Zach Harrison. That is just a fact. The guy is insanely good. Ty J at this spot. I think one will fall to 106 for us. Dude, this is crazy. Tyler Scott even to this point. You do need edge, and I like Zach Harrison a hell of a lot more than I like Diane Henley. I don't know which one it is. Linebacker, what are we looking at? Maybe Noah Sewell at 106. I don't know. It's such a tough one because you get to the players in like this round where there's still talent that drops. Probably won't in real life. You probably don't have this selection of players. You probably have like Garrett Williams, Jalen Duncan, Toa Mingo here would be interesting. Put a big slot. AJ Brown lookalike. Mini me. Rashee Rice at the spot is broken. Zach Harrison for me. He's just so athletic. But got to look at the whole board. And Diane Henley, like I mentioned, you already lost TJ Edwards and Kaiser White. It is what it is. I'll just go Zach Harrison at the spot. Hope at 106. Either there is an inside linebacker or something falls to us that looks good, like a running back or something. Did I see Yaya Diaby? Dude, if Tank Bigsby was on the board here. No, that was Yasir Abdullah. So, two of the Louisville boys. But Tank Bigsby, that's interesting. Definitely would have been in play for me. I'll look around here. So, Tyjae does remain on the board. Fan there. I'm definitely a fan. No one's falling there. I'm not going to look there. Then in the slot, sure, you can address that later. Noah Sewell or Henry To'oTo'o. I prefer Sewell over To'oTo'o. Corner, we're good. Safeties, we're fine for now. No edge. I mean, obviously, Byron Young's really good and interesting to see what he'll do in the league. But at this spot, I think it's pretty clear cut for me. I'm just going to go Tyjae Spears. Really good player, I think. Should be fun to see how he kind of goes up in the league, but fun little draft class. I wish I would have done things differently, and that kind of just shows you how many different ways you can go and how many enticing options there are. But I think if I were to do this over again, I'd do it on the PFF board, even though that is a lot more broken than this one. So I don't know what I'd do. I guess I'd have to manually pick through the first 4 or 5 rounds, whatever it is, and up to this point. So I don't know. Paris Johnson was our first pick at 10. Then we moved down to 35. We were at 30 originally. Traded down. We were probably going to trade for corner. And then saw Brian Branch. Thought it was a great idea. Just get good football players. And that seems to do well. So Brian Branch there. Same motto with Thule. He can come off. He can play 3-tech. He can fly off the edge. He can play inside for you. Thule is just a jack of all trades player at 62. Plus, if he can excel in a certain role, to allow Zach Harrison to be a rotational rusher, kind of like we saw James Houston for the Lions, I think Zach Harrison is the best athlete on the edge, or I guess off the edge for this season. So, or in this draft class. So you get a toolsy guy like Zach Harrison that can fly, maybe help in run defense immediately, and then you can kind of develop him as a pass rusher later down the road. So Zach Harrison there, and then just to get a quality running back like Tyjae Spears at 106, when you're currently working with Kenneth Gainwell, Trey Sermon, Boston Scott, and then they got Rashad Penny. So pure runner and Rashad Penny. Boston Scott's kind of a gadget guy. Gainwell can kind of play it all. And then I don't know if they still have Trey Sermon on roster, but if they do, I don't think he's there. I don't think that's kind of where you're looking at. But this is the Eagles mock draft.